another morning sesh.
It is. I like the morning session. I like a morning beer.
If you're drinking a morning beer and you're not recording a top-rated YouTube TV show, then it just feels like you're an alcoholic.
There's got to be something that we're best at. Some really obscure metric.
What, on YouTube? I mean, there's a lot of content out there.
Is it even the best channel in Didcot?
No, probably not. I would like to bet there are a number of better channels than us in Didcot.
Right, let's find out what I'm drinking.
We should, and in order to do that, we need to spin the wheel. And in order to do that, we need to go through the rigmarole of best thing and worst thing.
I do know what the worst thing is, and the worst thing is still fascism. Number one is fire. But the moon came in a second.
Hey, producer, is there any new stuff on the wheel?
New to the wheel this week is Managed Democracy.
Nice. Super Earth. Spin the wheel! Spin that wheel!
Not you, the wheel.
Spin. How is this spinning?
I can't see it. Am I supposed to be seeing it?
Nah, we still haven't figured that out yet.
Star Trek.
Star Trek?
Star Trek? Oh, excellent.
It's going to be a long episode.
Oh, we could talk about that for hours.
Religion.
Religion. Ooh. Star Trek won't be long because it's not really contentious. Religion, however.
Yeah.
And the final thing for this week, social media.
Ooh.
That's so bad. That's in fascism territory.
In the order that they were spun, least contentious first. Let's go with a bit of sweet Star Trek. It's Star Trek. It's Trek rather than Wars, right?
That's what the producer said. I'm sure Star Wars is on there in someone trying to be clever and do, Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Don't you really compare them? Again, people
I
trying
like
to
them
write a show
both.
for us.
They're both awesome. It's not an either or situation.
Very different, aren't they? Star Trek is basically a liberal future utopia, give or take, and then Star Wars is...
It's a fantasy fairy tale in space. Star Trek is a utopia, although in an effort to become a bit more divisive and contentious, they start bringing in like slightly dodgy undercurrents like Section 31 and conspiracies and in order to survive we have to do nasty things, which is not really in the spirit of Star Trek. Because people love Section 31. Yeah, I want to rebel and be bad. Like, they're secret police.
When did Trek start? What's your guess? I'll get on the Wikipedias.
60s, isn't it? Around moonshot time, 60...
I think it's like 60... Yeah, it's like Summer of Lovey kind of time, I think.
want to say like... I want to say 69, but that might be a bit... I'm going to vote 69 because it's funny now.
Funny word. You're going for 69... Oh, no, you're out. It turns out 69, not always right. It was 1966. So
That's not bang a million miles out. That's 3 years from something that was...
It's a big difference, though, isn't it? It's like
67 years ago.
kind of post-moon, pre-moon. It's a big deal.
I didn't say what point in 69. Oh, I've got a huge book I need to read. I've got the big photography book about this.
Dude, the one you got from Filthy Mike's Dirty Discount Bookstore.
Moving on.
Including the original series, there have been, not including the films, 12 TV series.
Original series, animated series, DS9, Voyager.
It's the one with the shittiest theme song.
Oh, of course, Enterprise. I feel that show was really hard done by. I didn't like all the time travel stuff, but once they skipped that off and started doing their own thing, I think it got really good. How busy was Nazi Germany and the Star Trek timeline?
Everybody went back to Nazi
Everyone
Germany.
is going there. All of these time travelers rocking up with gold and stuff.
So who do we have staying in the hotel tonight? Well, there are some people from the 22nd century. There are some people who are pretending not to be Klingons. There's a bald man. There's another guy who I think might be Idris Elba.
Then it comes back with Discovery, which I really like the first 2 seasons, and then it starts out all mixed together. So you got Strange New Worlds, you got Prodigy, you got Lower Decks, Picard.
I'll give you it because it's tricky. It's short treks.
Star Trek Next Generations is one of the main things that raised me, I would say, as a kid.
Yeah. Next Generation.
Every day watching that.
That's our Trek. That's our generation's Trek.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Like 6 o'clock, watching good people do good things and save the universe.
Yep.
And in contrary to modern TV, they have a very wonderful thing where they talk to each other.
They do.
So they don't hide dark secrets and cause conflict. They say, yeah, I'm seeing some really weird shit. Can you scan it with a tricorder and see if I'm batshit or not? And they go, No, you're not batshit. We will
That's-
solve
yeah.
this problem.
Yeah.
Or they say, you are batshit, so come to the hospital and we will treat you with respect and dignity and space drugs.
And largely non-invasive surgery. Lots of diplomacy
And
as
it
well.
works,
They
yeah.
didn't always solve
it's
problems
fun.
with fights.
Although, if you go back and watch Next Generation, the number of times that Worf says, should I raise the shields? And Picard goes, no. Worf is proven right, you probably should have raised the shields.
Yeah.
And when Worf says, can I blow the bejesus out of them? And Picard goes, no. It's like, oh, you should have let Worf blow the bejesus.
I'm with you on the first one.
Oh, then.
I'd argue that raising your shields is not in itself a hostile act. It's just being precautious, right? Locking on with your photon torpedoes and blowing the ever-loving tits out of their warp nacelles.
Would have got them out of trouble.
True, but
A lot.
diplomacy, be the bigger man, the bigger, bolder man.
But the bigger man, who was Worf, says blow it up.
I love Worf. It's great.
He's underrated.
He was a minor
As a
character to
security
start
officer.
with. He was not a major...
He's just like a red shirt.
He was just and because you had Tasha Yar, who was the chief of security, and then she got all nommed up by a gooey black monster.
The skin of evil. What was his name? I can't remember his name. Arman? No, Armanis or something?
Arman, yes, he was a French.
Armani.
He was a French evil goo, but she gets out, and then everyone's really sad, and then I think like the next episode, they're like, "Well, we hired Worf."
When did it start?
Oh, I'm gonna go 89,
87.
87. Bloody hell,
178 episodes.
7 seasons.
Back when a season was a season with 20 odd episodes, not like these modern seasons of sort of 10-ish.
You know what? I quite like 10 episode series. I think it's about right. Generally speaking, if you've got 26 odd episodes, like half of them are going to be trash filler, and then the rest are like the banging mythos episodes. I love DS9.
It's good TV. And they mostly try their best. They're a bit more flawed, maybe, than the Next Gen crowd. Which makes sense, because the Next Gen crew work on the flagship of the Federation, a beautiful new shiny Galaxy class. Buff.
Chain.
And the crew of DS9 have been given a ropey old Cardassian station that used to be like a prison or facility in the middle of nowhere. They run a gas station. They run a backwards gas station.
But the reason why I love it so much, and the reason why I think Trek has continued to be like having so many good series in that, is they're all got a really different concept. Like they're all set in the same world, same universe and that. Next Generation, buggering around on a big ship, exploring places and such. But then DS9 in the one place all the time on the space station, and then Voyager, you think it's going to be just another rehash Next Generation, but then oh no, they get lost. Spoilers. And then they have to find their way back. How did someone like Neelix ever get a hot lass like Kes?
Makes a laugh.
I mean, there's limits to comedy though, right?
He's an excellent cook.
He is an excellent chef, that's true.
And he really cooks. He doesn't use the replicator. He really cooks.
These are real things.
And also, the third thing, you have to assume that he must be phenomenal in the quarters.
Well, he is an alien, so he might have like a sweet
Right.
triple bifurcated penis or something.
Religion.
Now, where to start? It's a big subject.
Tread carefully, boys.
You
God,
just got warned by the producer there. You can't hear. We can start with the good things if we're starting with the beginning, because religion was part of the way that we created social structure and order and laws and things back. The foundings of civilization.
it's true.
And it was a way for people to make sense of the craziness and the chaos of the world around them.
Which
Not knowing
which
that there
was
science
quite
behind
frankly bonkers. I mean,
it. It was bonkers.
there was stars, and there was the moon, and there was seasons, and there was like tides, and there was all the stuff that we didn't have the science to understand, and so our default position was it's probably a god.
And they really believed in a way that I think a lot of people don't today. As in, if they were making an oath on a god or something, they genuinely thought something might happen to them.
If I
if they
don't
didn't
keep this
uphold it.
oath, I'll get smoked.
So I think it arguably did have value in founding civilization way back when, but it's all gone downhill from there.
Why don't we rank the... No, let's not rank the religions.
There's a lot of them.
There are a lot. How many can you name? Ooh, how many religions can you name, Carl?
Christianity,
Yep.
Judaism,
Yep.
Islam,
Yep.
Buddhism,
Yep.
Hinduism,
Mm-hmm.
Confucianism. Is that a philosophy or a religion?
Confucius say, I think it might be a philosophy.
There is the Norse religion, all the kind of
Viking gods and
paganistic,
all that.
pantheistic,
Yeah.
Western religions, Druidism, Roman
Yeah.
pantheon, Greek pantheon, the pantheons of Sumeria and Babylon, kind of way back when.
Yeah.
Egyptian,
Egyptian, that's one. Yep.
Ra and Horus and all of those people. You have all of the gods of Aztecs and the Mayans, Quetzalcoatl and all those people. Native American religion, I don't know much about. I think
No,
that
they
was
definitely
more
had. It was
spiritual, I think.
mostly it was like ancestor worship.
And there's a zillion more that I've forgotten, and also local ones.
What about Wicca? Was Wiccan a religion?
Wiccan? Isn't that modern
Modern witchery?
paganism, really?
Yeah.
Wiccan is modern paganism, I thought.
What's that absolute horseshit with the red bows that famous people follow?
Scientology.
No, that is horseshit. but not that.
Yeah, that's Ron L. Hubbard, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's a sci-fi writer who got too big for his boots. That is.
Oh, I mean, if we could do like the Mormons and the Amish,
Yeah.
I've been living all my life living in an Amish paradise.
What's the one? Oh, Kabbalah. That's the bullshit one with the red things.
Isn't that something to do with Judaism?
Possibly, but it is horseshit. In so much that a lot of famous people follow it because it's cool to do. I think the basis of it might be sound. Famous people have not added to its brand there.
No, its origin is medieval Judaism, and then it gets converted to Western esotericism.
In a sensitive fashion, I think we should do the old good news, bad news sandwich. And so we've gone for the good news already, like it started out decent. Let's go for things that are wrong with religion in general. Careful. And then we'll finish religion with, the decent stuff that they still do. How's that sound?
I mean, there's a whole lot of killing being done in religion's name right now,
There is.
all around the world.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people, and that's not a new thing either. That's always been a issue with religion, is that there is a tendency to want to, either convert by fire and sword or, destroy those what don't believe what you does.
That's always been because people like to identify and be concerned about the outsider and enemies and stuff.
So not necessarily religious. Religion as an excuse, that could be.
But in the old days, you didn't have as much of a civil structure and national identity and things providing the framework for a civilization to exist. But now you do. You have lots of other things that you can identify with, you can be part of, that aren't teaching you to hate other people, that aren't teaching you weird imaginary things about big things in the sky that run your life. And you know a lot more about science, so you know a lot about the world. There's lots of knowledge out there for you to have that explain things that you try and explain.
So what you're saying is that there is a lot less excuse to be militantly religious these days.
Yes, you should know better. Which is why I kind of rate the Church of England as a modern religion, because it's mostly about being that.
If you are generally secular as a country, although you have religion, but there's a separation of state and church, then you're potentially a bit calmer because you don't have faith getting people all riled up.
You can argue the other way around, though. You can argue it's the other way around. Like, if the faith's all rolled up, then they take over. Chicken and the egg. It's a complex.
Wait, are you saying
However, I
that
think
we're not going to solve the problem of conflicting religions, religious persecution and war in this 15 to 20 minutes that we're dedicating to the subject?
some of everything to date, important in the founding and the growth of civilization, utterly obsolete now and being mistreated by some horrible people. Yeah, there's still some goodish religions. They need to basically do Church of England thing, which is retire, meet up on Sundays, cup of tea and cake.
Doesn't have to be tea, could be a beverage more suited to your local area, local climate. Maybe have a nice cold drink if you're somewhere hot.
It's tea or I'll cut you.
There, right there. Religious
Sorry.
hatred.
Sorry. All right, social media.
Social media.
Well,
So, it
there was a good time. Like, the first few years of Facebook, I think, were pretty good.
was a great tool to organise your life, to catch up with friends, to make sure you didn't miss stuff.
You share your pictures, what you're doing with your family, and everyone could be a bit more connected who are further
You
apart.
could be like, oh, I'm going to have a party in a week's time. Who wants to come? And then everyone on Facebook would be like, yeah, brilliant. And then you'd have a load of people there. And then
Then it all
Twitter
went
came along.
downhill.
Whereas Facebook has gone quite bad now. My perception of Twitter was that it started as a swamp and it gradually got swampier.
Let's try and get across nuanced and complicated messages and have sensible discussions in 120 characters or less. No, that was never going to work out, ever.
It's a hot dumpster fire of a social platform.
There are some really crazy people on Twitter, watch out. I went on there to do two things. It was when I was regularly traveling to London. I went on there to get updates from the train company as to why my train was broken, and then to give feedback to the train company on, like, I would like them to fix the train quickly, please, or let me off.
If you send a company a personal message, a private message, or an email, there's no incentive for them to, actually do the thing. Whereas if you send it as a public thing, and then everyone else can be like, they done fucked up and they didn't do the thing that they're supposed to do, and it damages their reputation. And I think that's probably a good way of actually getting shit done. It seems to be. What else was there? Oh, pre-Facebook, MySpace.
MySpace, I had a MySpace
A
page.
MySpace page.
Not much going on.
You could put your music on the background.
It's like the GeoCities. It's like Facebook plus GeoCities.
I remember GeoCities.
There was also Bebo.
Oh, there was Bebo.
There was Bebo. Then,
Mm-hmm.
I think a couple of things started to happen. First off, advertising as they monetized it more and more. And businesses got on there, and a bunch of your feed became businesses and advertising or some other sponsored crap.
Buy some Pepsi.
The refreshing alternative to cola that they always have to ask you weirdly about if it's okay. Yes,
It's fine.
it's okay if I ask for Coke, could you bring me a Pepsi?
Yeah. You've only got Pepsi. Puh, I would rather die, said nobody.
And an open message to the hospitality
There you go.
industry. Pepsi's fine. I actually like Pepsi.
Stop asking. It's fine. Is it brown and fizzy? Then you're probably good.
You're opening up the window to all kinds of horrible fizzy things, and also dandelion and burdock, which is nice, but you don't want that instead of a
I
Coke.
do love it. But if you thought you had Coke and you picked up your glass and you took a quick swig before you got a chance to smell it, and it was D&B, you'd be
It's a strange drink, is D&B. It's like if a bunch of hippies tried to make Coke, which I think is exactly what
It
happened.
tastes somewhere between medicine and a refreshing beverage.
And not at all like, I guess, dandelions, but I don't know what burdock tastes like.
I don't know what
It
burdock
tastes more
is.
like
Burdock could be like a part of a horse, for all I know.
I think burdock was in the A-Team.
Okay. Yeah. Face, BA,
Hannibal.
and Burdock.
Burdock looked quite a lot like a thistle.
Which explains why there's always thistles on the bottle.
Yeah. I just thought it was Scottish.
Advertising shit came on, but politics and misinformation, people believing all kinds of nonsense came
fake
on.
news.
I left Facebook.
Fake news was
Fake news.
definitely wouldn't have been anywhere near as big a thing, if a thing at all, if it wasn't for social media.
I left it because it hit a point where there were so many relatives and people posting stuff that was patently untrue. So all that horror stuff, people believing absolute nonsense and madness and spreading
Horse apples.
hate and
Grade A horse
lies.
apples.
And there's lots of social bullying, trolls.
Yeah.
People often know that they'll be nastier because you're not sat in front of them, you're sat behind your keyboard.
Accountability. There's no accountability. That's the problem.
And the companies allowed it because it drives engagement, and they're all pretending to not allow it, but they love it. Briefly went back to Instagram for a little
I've
while
never done Insta.
because I was doing nothing on social
Never
media.
done
But it kept on showing me links to threads, and the adverts and the links they showed me was always horribly divisive stuff that would make me want to argue with it. On the corollary,
What?
I have found that the smaller the community in social media, it can be quite good.
Yeah.
I think now it's settled down. Like I'm in a few very small groups. Like we've got the Geek Discord is arguably
Is
social
that
media.
social media? I suppose it kind of is. Anyway, we should rate stuff. Trek is obviously the highest thing because Trek's great. Not in the world, but
The only
out of these
argument
three things.
around Trek is how high are we going to?
But in order of good to bad, I'd say we go Trek, religion, social media, right?
I'm going to go yes, because I actually see widespread social media as a pretty fundamental challenge. It's a bigger problem for the West than... I'm having a Western-centric standpoint because I am from the West. Sue me, leave me alone.
Well, on that note, I think you should pitch social media. Where are you going?
Under Lost Lager. No, is that too harsh? There is some value to it.
It's not all bad. Lost Lager is all bad.
I'm pitching it just above
Lost
Speedbird
Spoonbird.
because... Now, if it wasn't for the few good things that I have in it and the good early start, it would be on the way to fascism. But there are some good use of social media.
Okay, so look at what we've got near it. Would you rather have a delicious can of Speedbird or use social media?
Use social media to complain about the Speedbird. I'm also aware we're going to share this on YouTube, which is arguably a kind of social media.
The next beer up from that's Elvis juice. Would you rather have a delicious can of Elvis juice or use social media?
Elvis juice.
Okay.
please.
you're in that sort of Baldy Bezos and Loose Women area. Would you rather use social media or watch Loose Women?
I would rather use social media.
Okay.
I could accept it being above Loose Women.
Loose Women. Yeah, well, let's go between. Should we go between Loose Women and Elvis Juice? Sorted. Nice. That's social media. Next up, religion. All religion, and oh fuck, it's my turn. Let's do it on the beer scale. Beers are a good way of measuring shit. Like, would I rather drink a beer or do religion?
I know where I'm putting it.
Go on then.
Just immediately above social
Oh,
media.
really? Ooh, that low.
Yeah, it's bad now. Like, it does have some good elements, but
I wouldn't want to be that harsh. I think a lot of our society wouldn't exist if it wasn't for religion. And although I don't necessarily subscribe to any particular faith, I think the sort of community that, especially Church of England, particularly, you know, that kind of that homely, the community sort of thing that can bring to people, is a good thing. I'm going to use it to prop up Arcade Made again, as I do with all things that I'm like not feeling great about but don't hate. So somewhere in the classic caramel region.
you choose where it goes around there.
I'm going to go with it is better than classic caramel but not as good as Hot Frenzy.
Oof, I don't know, if someone said, hey, would you like a bar of caramel or to go to church? It's not an easy decision.
I'd have caramel. Yeah, let's put it. Oh, would you like a can of Hoppy Xmas or would you like to go to church? I'll have Hoppy Xmas.
You'll have it in church because it's
It
Christian
is
there.
religious. Would I rather use Excel or go to church? At that point, I'd probably go to church. It's less like work.
Imagine using Excel to do something for a D&D campaign.
I don't hate that. All right, let's put it just above Excel. How's that sound? Star Trek.
Is it my turn to pitch? Only
I'd
because I
put
want
it at
to.
number 3 though.
Don't put it at number 3.
No, I would. I would absolutely put it third best thing in the world, just above Portsmouth.
Oxford, you mean?
Oxford, I mean, because it's an ox and a Ford.
Looking at this little picture of an ox and a Ford thinking, Portsmouth? Well, I was going to pitch it just above Wingman. So if you want to bring it, if you're going to bring it into third, I could accept it just above Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Sweet.
deal. Next Generation was such a big influence. One final Star Trek story, and it's the reason or the excuse for why the Federation is so powerful. But you got the Klingons who are great at building warships and being fighty. Romulans are all sneaky, and the Ferengi are all
Tradey.
yeah, and everyone's got their different elements. But the reason the Federation is so powerful and they managed to accomplish all of these crazy things and save the galaxy so many times is what they basically have are a bunch of scientists and a bunch of technology that's just beyond what the scientists understand. And their ships are all a little bit crazy and just beyond what they can reasonably manage, so they're prone to doing crazy wild things. And that's why the Federation engineer can suddenly boost the shields by 200% and accidentally go warp 10. Or accidentally modulate the phases and bust through shields. And they win because they're doing all this crazy, unexpected sciencey shit that no one else could deal with. They don't really know what they're doing. They're always pushing the boundaries of science. They don't really have health and safety regulations. The story then goes that that's why humanity is so powerful in the Federation, is that the Vulcans will be like, that's not logical, and humans gone,
I did the thing.
and that's how and why the Federation is so powerful and survives.
That makes me so proud to be human. We are sketchy. I love it.
It's a wonderful take on it. It's like, humanity is good because they'll just try crazy shit. Anyway, on that note,
We should go. Well, my beer is gone, but cheers.